The United States Army bans all DJI drones from its inventory. The reason? Potential data security risks. The Commerce Department adds DJI to the Entity List. American companies need a license to sell DJI its own components. The Pentagon adds DJI to its Chinese military company list. The FCC places DJI on its covered list. Government subsidies cannot fund DJI purchases. Congress moves to ban DJI from American airspace entirely. 83% of all drone detections in monitored US airspace, DJI. The drones are on American farms, on film sets, in the hands of search and rescue teams, above American construction sites. The US military cannot use them. American first responders still do. No domestic competitor has matched DJI's price and performance. America has spent 8 years trying to quit this company. It cannot. That story starts in a dorm room in Hong Kong. Wang Tao grew up in Jinhua, a manufacturing city in Zhejiang Province, eastern China. His obsession from childhood, radio-controlled helicopters. At 10 years old, he saved up for his first RC helicopter kit. It crashed. He saved up again, bought another, and crashed it too. He didn't stop. The question of why it crashed started consuming him. At HKUST, Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, his graduation thesis was a flight controller for RC helicopters, gyroscopes, stabilization algorithms, the math of keeping something in the air that doesn't want to stay there. He submitted it. His grade was not impressive. He moved to Shenzhen in 2006, rented a small apartment near the city's electronics markets, and founded DJI, Zhejiang Innovations, with $90,000 from a family friend. The first products were flight controllers sold to RC hobbyist pilots and university robotics labs. The first years were unreliable. Early DJI controllers had failure modes, and Wang personally traveled to customer sites to diagnose problems and replace units. But Wang had identified something his competitors had not. The aircraft was not the product, it was the camera. Consumer cameras strapped to drones produced useless footage. Vibration from the rotors turned video into blur. The solution was a gimbal, a motorized mount that stabilizes the camera independent of the drone's movement. If the aircraft tilts, the gimbal compensates. The camera stays level. Wang built one. Nobody else was building them for consumer drones. That decision would define the next 20 years. The drone industry has a geographic secret. It is called Shenzhen. Within 50 kilometers of DJI's headquarters, approximately 3,000 component suppliers, motors, circuit boards, batteries, sensors, cable assemblies, precision-machined aluminum. Every piece a drone requires. More than 70% of global drone components are manufactured within this one ecosystem. The market at Huaqiangbei occupies 6 city blocks and sells every electronic part ever produced. Sourcing a specialized part from the US takes weeks. In Shenzhen, it is 20 minutes on foot. DJI turned this proximity into velocity. Spot a flaw, design the fix, source the part, build a prototype, test it, ship the revision. In Shenzhen, that cycle takes days. Outside Shenzhen, it can take months. Competitors in the US and Europe were not slower because they were less creative. They were slower because geography is a supply chain. DJI also went vertical. Motors, electronic speed controllers, gimbals, cameras, battery management systems, flight controllers, transmission systems. DJI designed and manufactured all of them in-house. A proprietary component means no competitor can replicate your product by buying your parts. The transmission system is called OcuSync. It runs on 2.4 and 5.8 GHz simultaneously with the system auto-switching based on interference. Reliable range, 7 kilometers. A competitor using consumer Wi-Fi modules, reliable range of 300 meters. That is not a feature gap, it is a different product category. DJI was not building a better drone, it was building a system no one else could duplicate. Before 2013, consumer drones did not exist as a category. You could build a drone kit, but the process required soldering skills, RC experience, and weeks of assembly. The Phantom One changed that. Ready to fly out of the box, a GoPro mount included, launched January 2013. Price $679. For the first time, aerial photography was accessible to anyone with a credit card. The Phantom 2 Vision added an integrated camera and a live video feed to a phone screen. The Phantom 3, released in 2015, shot 4K video. Obstacle avoidance arrived with the Phantom 4 in 2016. The Mavic Pro arrived in September 2016. It folded to the size of a water bottle. Flight time, 27 minutes. Speed, 65 kilometers per hour. The Inspire line targeted professionals. Carbon fiber arms retracted upward in flight, and the camera rotated a full 360 degrees without the aircraft's body blocking the shot. Hollywood took notice. The Wolf of Wall Street, Transformers, Age of Extinction, Game of Thrones. DJI drones were in the credits. Search and rescue teams started buying them. Agricultural operations, surveying firms, construction companies. By 2018, DJI held approximately 85% of the global consumer drone market. The nearest competitor, less than 5%. No single consumer technology company had achieved that kind of dominance in a new product category this fast. The companies that tried to catch up explain DJI's advantage more clearly than DJI can. 3DR was an American drone startup backed by venture capital, with its founder Chris Anderson being the former editor of Wired magazine. 3DR's strategy, open source software, let the community innovate, then sell hardware on top. By 2016, 3DR had exited consumer drones entirely and pivoted to enterprise mapping software. Parrot, a French drone maker, lasted longer before eventually retreating to niche markets in agriculture and military inspection, with consumer hardware abandoned. Yuneec was a Chinese company with US operations that competed on price. DJI matched it, then undercut it, then outpaced it on every product generation. None of these companies had Shenzhen, none had vertical integration, and none could match DJI's iteration speed. Then came Skydio. Founded by MIT roboticists and based in Redwood City, California, it was backed by serious venture capital. Skydio's technology was not a drone. It was a computer vision system that happened to fly. 6 onboard cameras, real-time 3D environment mapping, autonomous obstacle avoidance at full flight speed. In tracking a moving subject through dense terrain, Skydio outperformed DJI. The US military bought Skydio units, law enforcement bought them. The Army and Department of Defense were among its customers. It seemed, briefly, like America had an answer. October 2024. The US government sanctioned Skydio's sole battery supplier, a Chinese manufacturer. Skydio could no longer source batteries. It rationed replacements to existing customers. New consumer orders? Paused. America's best answer to DJI couldn't fly because it ran on Chinese batteries. That detail is not irony. It is the hardware reality of the global supply chain. DJI kept flying. August 2017. The United States Army grounds all DJI equipment across its inventory. The reason given: potential vulnerabilities in DJI's data and software practices. December 2020. The Commerce Department adds DJI to the entity list. American suppliers now require a license to sell DJI components. DJI has never been charged with espionage. October 2022. The Pentagon adds DJI to its Chinese military company list. The FCC places DJI on its covered list. Government subsidies cannot fund DJI purchases. DJI's response was transparency. It hired OnDefend, a US cybersecurity firm, to audit DJI drones used by American public safety agencies. 0 critical findings, 0 high-risk findings. DJI published the results and offered source code access to regulators. The legal status did not change. But the underlying question had not been answered. China's national intelligence law, passed in 2017, requires Chinese organizations to cooperate with state intelligence requests. No Chinese company has ever successfully declined a state request. DJI is a Chinese company. The law applies. The question Washington is actually asking: if Beijing issues a lawful demand, what does DJI do? No audit can answer a question about future behavior under a future legal order. 83% of all drone detections in monitored U.S. airspace in 2025 were DJI aircraft. The concern is structural, not empirical, and no security audit can definitively resolve a structural concern, which leaves America exactly where it started. Frank Wang started DJI with $90,000 from a family friend in a dorm room with a flight controller for RC helicopters and an engineering problem nobody else had solved. DJI's estimated revenue in 2024, approximately $7 billion. Net profit margin, roughly 40%. That margin exceeds Apple's. It exceeds most luxury goods companies on Earth. The US has placed DJI on 3 separate blacklists. New DJI drones cannot be legally sold in the United States. 83% of all drone detections in monitored American airspace in 2025 were DJI aircraft. The drones are on American farms, on American film sets, in the hands of American search and rescue teams, above American construction sites. No domestic competitor has matched DJI's price and performance at scale. America's best domestic drone maker rationed its batteries because China cut off its supplier. The ban is real. The dominance is also real, still flying. If you like this video, then check out our other video about the chip America wanted to stop China from making. And if you want to support us, then please subscribe to the channel. It supports us a ton. See you in the next video.